Hey guys, Alexi here with a good dose of music from our Deflemask Showcase brought to you by Megacat Studios. Once again, we're bringing in artists from both YouTube and SoundCloud, all of whom are very well versed with Deflemask. It's time for a showcase. We're kicking things off with a couple of bangers by AM4N. First one's called The Shinobi, and it sounds just like you'd expect it to. Just like cherry blossoms blowing in the wind and the heads of your enemies flying off their shoulders, it brings the hype. With some Japanese influence clearly mixed into the track along with some hard-hitting percussion, it all comes together in a smooth melody that makes you feel like you're drifting between modern and feudal Tokyo. It's definitely something you'd want to play if stealth is optional on your mission. Now, from the rooftops of Tokyo, we hit the neon-lit streets with Nightclub Zone. If you play this back-to-back with our first track, you'd think they were from two different people, and I think that's beautiful. No action, no violence, and no throwing stars in this one. A smooth, jazzy 8-bit beat that really does give you the smoky nightclub feeling that you'd only experience in the early decades. It's the perfect track to wind things down right after you've served your feudal lord and fed your horse. Break out the rice wine, my friend! You can't run from See Nothing, because not only is that the actual name of this sidetrack, but it's also a remix of the Sonic.Exe mod. That being said, it starts off quick and kicks into overdrive in before you can say, gotta go fast. There's a certain level of eeriness as the track builds up, and it totally works in giving you the sense of urgency. You know that feeling when you're being chased by something horrifying? That feeling. While it's arguably the best track for your morning run, we highly suggest you try this at night, if you dare. Now, for something a bit more regal, a track befitting anyone who would want to join the Imperial Space Force and protect the galaxy. Subpixel brings out the Starship Pilot in all of us within the presence of royalty. It's complete with the chiptune trumpets, drums, and bass to help with liftoff. You'll be flying high before you know it. Still, we highly recommend being a licensed spacecraft pilot before attempting any barrel rolls. This song, though, crank it up anytime. Now here's a short but sweet one by T4N3 called Fantasy Zone 2DX Cama-Ternya. When we say sweet, we mean it. If you could describe the colors pink, blue, and lavender through chiptunes, this would be it. It's exactly 60 seconds of a dreamy romantic melody that's easy on the ears and does the heart real good. Definitely recommended for your Pick Up Me playlist when you're feeling down. Haberchuck is at it again, kicking ass and taking names with Vengeance Ride. If you thought Fantasy Zone 2 was short but sweet, this one's even shorter, but slaps much harder. It'll take you on a ride whether or not you're seeking vengeance. The percussion is fast and the synth doesn't overtake the track's heaviness, giving it an overall badass feel. We all know what Haberchuck is capable of, and the usual would involve some technical melodies and intricate musicality. This time around, it's all about getting hyped for vengeance. Pegmode came up with something interesting with Lunatic Princess. It's a track that basically mirrors the personality of a princess who just so happens to be a lunatic. The first 16 seconds make up a calm, almost serene tune that befits a lady of royalty. Elegant, dainty, and fragile. But best believe it all goes up in flames from here on out. Call it systematic chaos if you will, the track goes from inner palace to pandemonium real quick. And I love it. The subversion of expectations made this track one to add to your tsundere playlist. Dabest looks to be the best with this remix of a classic Rayman track, Deep Forest. Now for those familiar with the first Rayman game, the Deep Dream Forest stage was the epitome of chill, slow beats, rainforest-inspired sounds, and an overall relaxed vibe, some of the best the PlayStation 1 could offer. Now this time around, there's more chiptune, more synth, and more to feel about the track. While it loses the feeling of running and floating through a rainforest, you now get a futuristic vibe that's not only an interesting take, but also a refreshing one. Then Hassan's Darkness at the City Park is a no-nonsense, straightforward track that's meant to be menacing. The percussion loops from beginning to end with the synth bringing about the overall feeling of dread. While it may not be final boss levels of background music, it does suit the long, terrifying hallway of fire that you need to traverse in order to face the final boss. It doesn't make things any less scary, it helps build up the fear. And sometimes that's what we need to keep ourselves on our toes. And bonus track. DIY Microelectronics brings us something straight out of Cyberpunk's 2077's character creation screen. Using what's called a nanodrive, we get a medley of chiptunes played straight out of a microchip. So that's why they're called chiptunes, who'd have thought? Nonetheless, it's a neat project that we think needs to be showcased. From the bare bones appearance up to how it's fully capable of playing all these classic tracks, you can really tell how technology has come a long way, but never hesitate to take a step back just for fun. Well, that's it for this installment of our Deflemask Showcase, and if you enjoyed this month's lineup, let us know. This is Alex from MegaCat Studios. Check back here for more chiptune goodness.